I like that. And then we bond those together somewhere along there. And then we take this eye gouger off the corner.
Uh-huh.
I think that'd be really sweet.
That is really cool. So you're saying put both of those together right here?
Yeah.
So that it's flush?
Glue them together like that.
Okay.
Glue them together like that. This thing is wide enough for, we're thinking about putting, we're not just thinking, we're going to put one of those big wide roll-out spice racks in here. And this is wide enough for gallon-sized mason jars. So that's the goal. We want to have enough room for that. So yeah, we need a shelf to top it off. So that's what we're working on.
Math pro, eye pro, ear pro, math pro.
Let's get to work.
Yeah, I think that's gonna work. Cool, so we'll just, we'll clamp it together square out there, throw some wood glue in it.
Yeah.
And then throw those pocket screws in. See how it goes. All right, do you wanna squeeze wood glue into this crack?
Yeah,
and then
sawdust.
continue doing this.
Yep.
And it'll work the the very fine sawdust in with the wood glue, and then it'll be able to take oil and whatnot.
Doing this will act like DIY putty. So basically all putty is sawdust and glue mixed together. So we essentially just did that. So hopefully it works and looks great.
Dry fit, still wet.
Whoa. That is fab.
That's wonderful. So then we'll probably pocket screw or through screw, probably through screw here.
Yeah.
And then through screw through this wall into there.
Yeah.
And then this cabinet will then have pocket screws probably on the interior going up into here.
Perfect.
And this will be, instead of doing plywood on the top, this is gonna be the top. Pretty cool, huh? Is it level?
Yeah, it's level.
Okay. 59 and a half.
59 and a half. Won't hit that shelf, then nut. Won't hit that shelf, then nut. Oh, it's perfect.
It's perfect?
It's perfect.
Okay, I've gotta make a couple more. I'm gonna do another one right here. There we go. Nice.
Like a glove.
You like that?
I love it. So basically, we just made the door, but we're not done yet. We have a whole bunch of wood scraps that we saved with a bunch of knots and stuff in that we're going to glue to the face of this. It's gonna be really cute and crafty, and just like a nice little art piece on that face. Let's go! Okay, so I saved all these pieces of wood because I thought they were pretty. One, because of all the amazing artistry this tree created. Looks like a watercolor. And then all these big holes. I like the knots. I think they're pretty cool. So basically, we're gonna cut some wood into interesting shapes, glue them together So they make the face of this cupboard and then cut out the holes on the plywood that they're glued to. So there'll be like some handholds or finger holes to pull the thing open.
Everybody wants to know if you're gonna shishoogie bond that right there. The whole thing. Everybody wants to know.
Are we gonna shishoogie bond this?
No, your finished product.
We could.
Everybody wants to know.
Everybody?
Yeah.
We could shishoogie bond
Tell
it.
everybody here.
Brian wants to shishoogie bond it. I don't know. Sure. Maybe we could try. We haven't done it yet. So
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what we do right here.
new jigsaw. Oh yeah.
There we go. All right, so next up we are building these vertical supports going across the cabinets here. So something to keep in mind is that the bus is really not the most level thing, and nothing is really very square. But what we do know is that we want the top edge of our vertical supports to all be the same height. So now that we've got the floating base created, now what we can do is we can run basically a level line, or a line that goes in between this point here, which we measured up from the ground to be 34 inches because we plan on the countertop being about a 2-inch countertop. So if that's 34 inches and that measurement there, which is our first piece, is 34 inches, then every other vertical piece that we mount here also needs to be at this line. And if it's at this line, when we have a big countertop come in, we know that it's going to be level or the same height as everything else, which will give the appearance of being level. So what we did,
Good enough for us.
definitely. So we measured up over here from the floor to the 34 inches. We drew a little line on the plywood. We put our plumb bob string in between it, and then on this side over here, we simply just put one of the big grip clamps, and we have a piece of 2x4 being gripped there, and we measured from the floor right here, also to the 34-inch mark. Put a little line. The grip clamp is holding to the frame of our floating cabinet, and then we tied a clover hitch right here to hold the string nice and tight. And that's how we're going to ensure that each one of these vertical supports are cut tall enough, because they might be off by like a 1/16 of an inch or an 1/8 of an inch here and there. But as we're going across, we'll know.
Where does he come up with this shit? No, really. The guy's a genius. I would never have thought of that. Would you? Let us know in the comments.
Eye Pro! Ear Pro! Glove Pro!
Haha, they're perfect. Nice and flush.
Into the bus.
So now we'll go Craig jig both of these guys, and then we'll get them installed. So something that I've noticed with this particular Craig jig is that it's able to do 1/2-inch material, but the screw for the plunger is not quite long enough, and it only holds on for about a thread. So what I ended up doing was I found just a piece of drop wood here, and I throw that in the back, and then I clamp my material against that like that, so that I've got a stronger clamping surface. It seems to be working pretty good doing that. So the Craig jig's pretty awesome, but come on guys, you could make this a little bit better. Just saying. All right, so for the ones that are touching the bottom edge of the cabinet, I was doing 2 screws, one on A, one on C for the front edge, and then A and C on the back edge. Every other screw position was about 6 inches apart. No rhyme or reason behind it. 6 just sounded like a pretty good number for spacing, so I went for it.
So you mean those two
These two,
front
A and
are
C.
hitting a 2x4?
Yeah, these two are hitting a 2x4.
Yeah. Line them up for the furring strip.
Yeah. All right, so now we're lining it up for the furring strip. And we're gonna use B and C in this one because we only have an 1.5 inch target. And whenever you're looking at B and C, you're gonna see that they fall perfectly within that 1.5 inch area. So that would be a good target point for attaching the back edge of the vertical panel to the furring strip on the wall. So with the 12-inch pantry, I think that, which is right about there or so. What did you say? It was like this one here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this drawer potentially can be 24 inches or so pull out, but we only have 22.5 total inches, and it's not going to pull out 22.5. Part of it's going to stay inside of here.
So that would be perfect.
That would still fit for a drawer that's this long which was 22.5. Like, that's if the drawer came all the way out and we used full length slides. But if we used the mechanical slides, it probably would only cut out maybe 17 inches or so, and then part of the drawer would be under there so that the drawer doesn't tip out.
So we've got almost all of our major kitchen stuff out that is kind of big and clunky, and we wanted to make sure that we had enough space and that we planned the space in a smart way so that we are well organized and we have room for the things that we need.
Yeah, we only have so many inches to work with, and so by measuring off and setting stuff in strategic locations and moving it around, we're able to kind of really dial in, okay, what are the cooking utensils and craft stuff that we plan on having here when we're traveling, so that we can do the cooking show, the traveling schoolie cooking show, or even crafts and all sorts of cool stuff. So this is pretty fun. Sorry about the fan, forgot to turn it off.
So I think even this would fit in this spot. So this shelf could come out to this wall. And then any other little small things that we have like this could go in this top shelf area. We don't have anything bigger than those things in this moment. So that's it for that. Then if we put a wall here, then this gives us some nice drawer opportunities. We need a spot for Tupperware because everybody knows that Tupperware drawer needs to exist. Tupperware for us means like some nice like glass jars and yeah, glass square containers. Some of them have plastic lids, but we don't necessarily like having plastic stuff because then your food tastes like plastic, and I don't want to eat plastic, do you? And yeah, if we did like almost like a 3 stack of drawers, we could have kind of a thinner drawer at the top maybe, and then a big old Tupperware drawer for sure. What do you think?
Yeah. I think, yeah.
So over here, we're going to have like a garbage slide. The reason we have this pail like this is because we're thinking we may put a compost bin right here, and then most of the time we like to keep the dish rack out because we just are lazy and we don't want to put it away. But when we're driving and say that we're doing like a big craft project on the island, we're going to want to be able to put the dish rack away. So we need a space under the sink for that. The sink will go here, like this. And then the induction cooktop, we may put kind of like this. And then we're gonna have like maybe a 4 stack of drawers here. Top drawer, skinny drawer for silverware. Second drawer will be like all of our cooking utensils, like spatulas and whisks and spoons and ladles and those kinds of things. The next couple drawers will probably be for like towels. So down here we're gonna have a big drawer that will keep all of our big pots, pans, basically things we cook with, down there. Then this will come up to this shelf. Our little oven will be on this second shelf. And beside the oven, we'll have vertical spaces for our cutting boards, like little baking sheets for this little guy. And what else do we have in there? Oh, our iron griddle. We'll have our iron griddle in that vertical space too. So yeah, this is a lot of fun. Spatial design is like one of my big loves. And then in this space, we'll have one of those like enormous rolling racks that you can put all the mason jars and spices and stuff on. Oh, it's going along so nicely.
Yeah, so next up, we're going to cut the piece that's gonna go right here, that the oven will sit on top, and then after that, we'll start framing out this area right here, so that we can get all the verticals set up in this space to prepare for the countertop build, which is going to span this whole area right here. Also, one other thing about the little sink area, as soon as we have that countertop in, we'll be able to have the hole cut into it, where we're going to make a custom built sink that most people just buy a sink and just throw it in or do an undermount or whatever. Ours is gonna be undermount, but it's going to be custom made by us. So you're gonna wanna stay for that.
Something that we noticed as we were researching, we really like copper sinks. And when we were researching copper sinks, they're like almost $900 or $1,000 for a big like farmhouse copper sink. So as we got navigating the sink thing, we were like, do we really want to spend $1,000 on a sink? We could probably make a copper sink. So then I typed in DIY copper sinks, and guess what? People make them. So we figured, why not make our own copper sink? So definitely stay tuned for that, because we're gonna make our bathroom sink and we're gonna make our kitchen sink too.
Woo! Hey, that's a nice shirt you got on there.
Oh, thank you.
Looks brand new.
There are shirts.
There we go.
The man is going for perfection, folks. If you don't have a clamp long enough, you make one. Okay, let's see if the little oven fits in. Cute! Here, let's see it without this plastic for a minute. Just cause. Just cause. Look at that. Probably about 2 inches there. That's so cute! Look at that little thing. What a cutie! What do you think, Brian?
Yeah.
That is so cute.
I think it's great. Perfect. 3 inches. Cool. I think it's gonna work perfect. Mm-hmm. And then we got space here for the vertical storage. Starting at about 2 inches, so that gives us about 7 inches or so.
Cute, cute, cute.
Shoot, if we just had 2 slots at 3.5 inches, I think that'd be better than trying to get 3 slots, because that would take.
I agree.
Yeah.
So this piece right here, we're gonna take out, and we're actually going to put it this way right here, which is fine because it fits absolutely perfectly. And then we're gonna cut one long piece this way because we finally made a decision on how we want our counters. Like we mentioned before, the drawers are gonna come out of the end of the island, and then we're gonna have cupboard doors that open on this side of the island. It's nice not to have to waste wood, so we're lucky that we made the depth of the counter the same on the island as right here.
Because this side is the trash side, and I don't really want. Yeah.
That makes more sense. Pocket screws on the clean side, not the dirty side. So you're just making lines where the pocket screws go now?
Yeah, I'm just marking where on here I want the pocket screws to show up for the furring strip, right there. And then I marked this back edge because I need room for the drill to screw the screw in, and so knowing where that should start is important, because if it's too far in, then you won't be able to reach it. So that's why I went over there. And then we know that this is the front edge, so we can just do screws. We'll probably do screws every 5 inches on this, and that should do it really well. So this is perfect. So we add a notch in this just a little bit so that we can get this to line up there. And the reason for that is because this furring strip and this furring strip aren't perfectly vertical. So we wanted it to meet for structural stability of this angled part of the counter, because there's going to be, you know, the weight of the countertop on top of that, along with cooking stuff, chopping,
leaning,
arts and crafts, definitely maybe some leaning, looking out windows and stuff.
One of the huge benefits that I've noticed with Brian's dry fitting obsession is that he always sets up his screw holes spot on because of it. He constantly is bringing this piece of wood back into the bus and making sure that it fits, whether it's a little adjustment for a cutout for the furring strip so that it lines up flush at the front of the counter, or whether it is to figure out where he's going to put his screw holes. That's why I find he is so precise, is because he's kind of a stickler for that, right?
Yeah.
It's important. It's important if you want to look nice. Attention to detail.
There you go.
Can't help but be a perfectionist. It's hard. When you're a perfectionist, it's like...
It's hard living. It's hard living sometimes being a perfectionist.
It just makes things turn out really nice. So it's worth it to kind of dry fit it again and again and not just like flub things in.
But look at the slide out. If they still have like 4 inches or so hanging in,
great.
Then they're still like, it's going to be a nice...
I love how big they are.
It's going to be a nice drawer. Yeah. It's going to be a nice drawer. We have officially roughed out the cabinets for our schoolie build.
I love it. Half of them are big enough to fit our full bodies in, which is pretty cool.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, well, they sit in. This one you can sit in too. At first, honestly, when we put the footprint down, I was like, there is no way that is gonna fit all of our stuff. But we really don't have that much stuff after we got rid of everything a few years ago. So this is cool.
This is totally cool, and it all fit together so well, so nice.
So nice.
I think using that that line did really nice for leveling things out.
Making sure everything was the same height.
Yeah.
That worked out really good.
I think one of the keys to the success of this was having a strong base to start off with, having a solid foundation, and that goes with anything like building or whatever. If you start off with a solid base, then building up from it is going to be a lot easier, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Now that the counters are all roughed out for the framing, you've probably noticed that we still haven't insulated the place. So that's to come soon. Generally speaking, having it in a nice roughed out area will make running pipes for plumbing and running our electrical a lot easier, because we know where stuff is at, and we've designed into this whole sort of roughed out framing extravaganza that we've been on space to account for the size of pipes and stuff like that. And we're not going to get into that in this video, because that's going to be in another video coming soon to you.
Yeah, and if you haven't noticed, we change our minds a bit, which is one of the beautiful things about making what? Which is one of the beautiful things about building it yourself, is that if you're like, actually, I wouldn't mind moving this over here or that over there, then you have the latitude to do it because you built it yourself. Another good thing about building it yourself is if you don't like it down the road, you can change it, or if something breaks down or whatever, then you know how to fix it.
Down the road.
Down the road. That was a bus
schoolie joke.
Anyways, thanks to everyone who's hanging out with us. We love your comments and your questions. You guys are beautiful humans, and just reading your comments makes us so happy.
Absolutely, and just by watching our videos, that supports us in ways that you've never imagined, and we really, really appreciate it. However, if you want to take it a step further, we've got some brand new Skoolie t-shirts that are available with the Get Your Skoolie On little fun bus logo. So if you're building a Skoolie or you want to build a Skoolie, consider grabbing your own t-shirt. There's going to be a link in the description where you can grab yours.
So thank you so much for being here, and until next time, friends,
Adventure on!
adventure on. Lots of love. Bye. 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 Bye.